Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Les Choristes, a French movie released in 2004. In 1999, as he was about to give one of his concerts in the United States, conductor Pierre Morange learned that his mother had died. He returned home to France after his concert for her funeral. One of his old friends, Pépinot, arrives at his door with a diary that belonged to Clément Mathieu, one of their supervisors. They read it together. 50 years earlier, in 1949, Clément Mathieu, a failed musician and unemployed music teacher, arrives at Fond de l'Étang, a boarding school for boys, to work as a supervisor. Near the gate, he sees a very young boy named Pépinot, waiting for Saturday, the day he thinks his father will come to pick him up. It is later learned that Pépinot's parents died during the occupation, but Pépinot refuses to admit it. Clément discovers that the boys at the boarding school are severely punished by Rachin, the director, corporal punishment, community service, isolation in a dungeon for up to several weeks, and arbitrary punishments to encourage denunciations from errant students. When a booby-trap device devised by Le Querec, one of the boys, is used against Father Maxence, the nurse and the dean of the boarding school, Clément decides to hide the identity of the culprit from the principal in exchange for the services of Le Querec, the culprit, in the infirmary. But Father Maxence's condition worsens, so he is taken to the hospital. His refusal to denounce Le Querec to Rachin, saving him from terrible reprisals, helps him gain the respect of the students. When he discovers that the students are writing rude songs about him, Clément decides to teach them to sing and form a choir to discipline them. He groups the students according to their voices, but Pierre Morange, one of the most resistant students at the boarding school, refuses to sing. However, Clément discovers that Pierre sings very well and decides to give him solos if he behaves well. Violette Morange, Pierre's single mother, arrives at the school. When Clément goes to explain to her that she cannot visit her son because he is being punished in the dungeon, he is taken with pity and attracted to the young mother and tells her instead that her son is at the dentist. During another visit, Clément learns to Violette that her son has an immense talent for singing. At the same time, Pascal Mondain, a young delinquent from a reformatory, arrives at the boarding school and begins to harass the other boys, terrifying them with lies, including a story about the murder of a pedophile pawn he allegedly knew, and acting rebelliously. After stealing the watch of Chabert, one of the teachers, he is locked up for 2 weeks. The choir quickly improves with Pierre as soloist. The children are happier and the administration is less strict as discipline problems diminish. Even the principal begins to relax, playing soccer with the students and making paper airplanes. But these good days, which also saw the return of Father Maxence from the hospital, came to an end when Rachin, furious, discovered simultaneously the disappearance of all the money of the boarding school and the escape of Mondain. Suspecting that Mondain had stolen the money, Rachin alerted the police. Once Mondain is caught and brought back to the school, Rachin questions him. Despite being slapped by the principal for half an hour, the teenager denies being the author of the theft. Rachin loses patience and hits Mondain once again. One time too many for the teenager, who throws himself on the director to strangle him. Rachin, who takes Mondain's retaliation as a confession, alerts the police again and they come to get the boy. Later, Rachin dissolves the choir, which forces Clément to continue the choir secretly in the students' dormitory or in the canteen during recess in the absence of the principal. Clément continues to see Violette, who does not realize how much attention he is getting. He plans to help her get a scholarship for her son so that he can attend a music conservatory in Lyon. One day, she tells him that she has met an engineer. Clément hides his disgust by pretending to be happy for her and watches her leave in the engineer's car. A countess, who helps the boarding school financially while ignoring Rachin's abusive methods, discovers the choir. It turns out that it was Father Maxence who had informed her without Rachin's knowledge. They sing in front of her and Pierre enchants the audience with his solo. Clément discovers that it was Corbin, one of the students, and not Mondain, who stole the money from the boarding school. Despite this, Rachin refuses to accept Mondain back. When Rachin leaves to accept a prize on behalf of the school after saying that he initiated the choir, Clément and Father Maxence take a day off and take the boys for a walk in a nearby wood. While the school is unattended, Mondain returns and sets fire to the boarding school. Clément is expelled for breaking the rules, even though he saved the students' lives. As Clément leaves, the boys of the boarding school, who are forbidden to say goodbye to him, lock themselves in their classroom, sing, much to Rachin's annoyance, and throw farewell messages to him on paper planes. Moved, Clément leaves. Back in the present, Pierre Morange, an adult, finishes reading the diary, and tells what happened after that. After Clément Mathieu's dismissal, he was taken out of the boarding school by his mother and earned his scholarship to go to the conservatory in Lyon. When Violette refused to take her son back to the boarding school, the engineer left them. Rachin was dismissed for his brutal discipline. According to Pépinot, Clement Mathieu continued to give music lessons until the end of his life without ever again trying to make his compositions known. The final scene, in the past again, shows Mathieu waiting for his bus after being fired. As he boards it, he looks back and finds Pépinot running after him, insisting that he come too. Initially, Mathieu refuses because it is not allowed, and he leaves Pépinot behind. Suddenly, the bus stops and Mathieu gives in. The two board the bus together. Pépinot finally got his wish, for he and Mathieu left on a Saturday, and Mathieu raised him.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss my next video.